Hey, welcome back. It's me, Dectoris, and this is episode 6. First off, sorry about the break. I actually just went down to part-time, and I worked a bunch of hours before that, just to kind of beef up the old savings account. And it meant, several days of long hours and not playing too much Eve. And also, before we get going, just a huge thanks to everybody who watched my last video and gave me your thoughts and support and all that stuff, man. That means an absolute ton. It's a tough topic to talk about, but it's absolutely necessary, and it's awesome to have people respond and agree. I guess you're always gonna have those trolls, but I kind of find them funny, so I don't get too offended by it. On that same vein, Broadcast for Reps. It's a channel in game. If you need it, please check it out. Or even if you don't need it, if you want to just be a positive influence in people's lives, jump in there and just have a chat with people. Or if you need help, there's tons of people that can help you all around. So definitely something worth checking out. Meanwhile, kaboom! Here's our first step. So I'm still flying Vexers. I just love them. It's so far from what I normally fly, in the sense that it's like you sit there and you just brawl it out, and you try to you try to tank the DPS while you're slowly whittling it down. It's not a super high DPS ship. It's a just a brick that sits there. Anyway, that first fight, these like the first 3 are actually against the same group of brave guys, and I found them, and the first one, it went pretty well, but I capped out. So I came back, and their fleet went from like 8 down to 6. The only difference is the second time around there is that damn Griffin, who's super annoying. But either way, I tell them I'm on the gate and I want a rematch, and they oblige. And then we play the dance of they try to bump me off the gate, and they don't want to aggress me, which is a very smart move. They shouldn't aggress me because it will chop their gang in half. Like, let's say 2 or 3 of them aggress me and then I jump through. Well, then only 4 of them can jump through immediately, and then I'll have more time to whittle away their DPS while they're sitting there waiting out their 60-second timer. They don't do that. I get impatient, and I take the first shot, which is bad. I mean, patience is one of the best attributes for PvP. You have to wait until the conditions are in your favor, and it seems kind of crappy to imply that if the venue doesn't suit you, don't show up. But it's kind of how it has to be. I'm never gonna win this fight unless I engage on my terms, especially with the numbers disadvantage. I mean, there's way too many of them. If it was 4, maybe. If it was 3 or 5, wow, that's just splitting hairs. It doesn't really matter. Either way, I took the first shot, and they sat a juicy Tristan right next to me, who was out of armor and had a little sliver of hull from the last time I shot at him, and I took the bait. What I didn't expect was the entire fight to be jammed. I thought that it's a T1 frigate. It doesn't have it's not a Tech 2. A Kitsune is a Tech 2. It's not a Tech 2 ship, so I shouldn't, have to sit through every single cycle being jammed. That's not the case, however, and being unable to, select targets and put a web and some damage on them with my guns is super big, and I don't know what my drones are doing. I can see that they're damaging something, but, I need to get my drones on that Griffin, and it just doesn't happen because I can't lock him. And in fact, the only time that I do actually get a lock on them is when I kind of give up and just de-aggress. I pull my drones, and they see that, so half of them start de-aggressing as well, and the Griffin de-aggresses and drops the jam on me, which you would think would have been a chance for me to wait my tank out, because there's still going to be 2 or 3 of them still aggressed, so I can still jump through and have to fight maybe 3 of them for a minute, and I can absolutely kill one of them in 3 minutes, or in 1 minute. But the jam drops, I lock up the Griffin, and I just, go for it, and as you'll see, it doesn't work out. I'm running out of ancillary charges or nanite paste in my ancillary rep. My cap is holding just fine. It wasn't a cap problem, but either way, get jammed right again, and I try to de-aggress and jump through the gate a second time, but I'm way out of buffer, and my reps aren't catching up, so down I go. It was a really frustrating fight. You just want to get some revenge. You just want to, regain some of your honor, and just to not even be able to lock anything for... That was a long fight. It was like 4 minutes. Not even be able to lock anything for 4 minutes. Just watch yourself slowly die. It's not exactly a fun thing to do. So, again, you have to make sure you're fighting in those engagements that are optimal to you. Anywho, I go back, grab another Vexer off the stack, and they ended up kind of following me as well, and I warped to one of the medium complexes, and this time I actually have a friend, so we're gonna kind of, 2 Vexers versus 8 frigates should be okay. Hopefully they can't jam us both, but now they do have 2 Griffins, so that's kind of unfortunate. But they get caught up, I think, fighting someone in like a smaller, a novice, and I see these 2 separated away, so I warp to this one and snag a Merlin. The Slicer burns off as he should. He shouldn't be anywhere close to me, and I know that I can't really engage the Griffin or the Slicer because I don't have a prop mod, and Imperial Navy Slicers are so amazing at killing drones. All he'd have to do is orbit me, and he could kill every single light drone that I launch towards him. So I put away the Vexers for a little while, and decided to, try something with a little bit higher success rate. My Vexers have not been doing well. If it's like a 1v1, the Vexers are great, or like a 2v1. But, when you get in those high numbers, you just forget that the amount of pilots involved is directly going to affect, how well you're going to do. So, I have 2 of my corp mates, and I see that there's these 2 Tristans. They're neutral, they're not in faction warfare, and they're hanging out at a beacon. So I whip into them with my Incursus, and it's just kind of a standard fit Incursus. It's dual rep, and go in there and get some scrams and tackle one of them while I give them the cue to warp in and tackle the other one. So it's a dishonorable 3v2, but again, I just got done getting killed, being outnumbered over and over again. You'd think I would learn and actually, adapt to that kind of play style and know that it may not be like the most tactically amazing trick, but more is better. And having more pilots on the field is going to give you an advantage, just because it's more modules to activate, more drones to, launch or whatever. So that's what I do, and it's a lot more fun to fly with people, especially like when you lose a ship or when you get overwhelmed and stuff. It's more fun to have people to kind of share your misery. So I do it again. And it's super important when you do keep sustaining these losses, as you're going to do. There's Eva's, there are going to be people that are better than you. There's going to be situations that are just stacked towards the opponent, and to make sure you don't get frustrated by that is key to keeping you subscribed and surviving in this game. This is a Dragoon, and honestly, I shouldn't even fight this guy. His newts are super powerful. I've killed him in Catalysts and Algoses before, so I didn't respect them as much as I should, but he's able to cap me out so hard that it turns my damage control off, and that's really painful for any Galente ship to have your damage control turned off, because he's just going to shred through your hull hit points, and you got a decent amount of buffer in your hull. So I thought that my NOS would keep my guns on, and my NOS didn't even keep my guns on, so I probably shouldn't have engaged that. But again, you don't know. You gotta go into each situation with a little bit of hope and a little bit of faith that you can pull out a W, but sometimes you just won't. Like this one right here. I'm in a Catalyst, and there's a Tristan sitting at 0 in a complex. I had just warped in on his buddy and scrammed his buddy and got 1 volley off before he warped. And then I warp into this one, and realize that he's probably, in the kitchen making a BLT or something, and knock him down. So it's not an impressive kill by any means, but you have to take what you can get, and don't let people succeed for not even paying attention. I love killing AFK people, because if you're gonna be making income while you're not even sitting in the chair, I'm gonna blow your shit up. Anywho, that's all I got for today. Not really that exciting of an episode, but we'll be back for more. Later, Gators.